So we have our fourth question. What are some good vaginal practices after having oral sex or intercourse to prevent a yeast infection? Also, what can a woman do if she is always too dry when having intercourse?
Okay, so good hygiene after sex to prevent yeast infections. This is where I like to use my favorite line in my practice that I've come up with. Took 20 years. And that is that your vagina is like a self-cleaning oven. So if you leave it alone, it will pretty much take care of itself. And that's why women will often notice some discharge. A lot of times women will come in and they'll say, I have discharge, I have discharge. And I say, if it doesn't smell or it doesn't itch, it's your self-cleaning oven. So that is normal for women. And certainly if you're concerned about the amount, you can always come talk to us. So back to the question. After you have intercourse, you want to be careful about too much internal cleaning because this can upset the normal balance of the vagina, and semen itself should not promote the growth of yeast. So you can certainly take a washcloth, a wet washcloth, and clean externally. That's fine. You know, you can splash a little water up there when you're showering, but you don't need to do anything big. If you're getting yeast infections after sex, it makes me wonder if perhaps it's yeast. It is actually yeast and not some kind of an irritant from a lubricant or another product that you might be using. The thing you don't want to do is douche. Douching is almost always not a good thing. And the other thing you can do if you're getting infections or irritation after sex is to try condoms and see if that helps if you're not already using them. If you are using condoms and you're getting irritated after sex, try washing off after sex, and if that doesn't help, try changing the condom. It may just be an irritation to something in the condom. The second part of the question is about being too dry during intercourse, and as we learned previously, this can lead to condom breakage, and it's just uncomfortable for everyone. It's not a good thing. One thing I like to clear up is make sure that you're really turned on before you're having sex, which sort of is a separate question. You know, when women become sexually aroused, they secrete a lubricant in their vagina. Not all women secrete enough lubricant to make sex, you know, non-painful. So you may need to add some lubricant. I talked about Astroglide. There's other lubricants on the market. You want to make sure whatever you're using is water-based. No oil-based lubricants with condoms. But make sure you are turned on, and if you're not, then do a little tutorial with your partner. There's great books available, which we'll get into a little bit in our next question. Female lubrication can also be affected by antihistamines. Like I said before, you want to avoid douching, hand lotion, soaps, and bubble bath. There's another product on the market called Replens. I don't have that much experience with, but supposedly it helps with the dry vagina, so it's another thing you could try. But we're always happy to talk about it in person if you want to come by and ask some more specifics.
Okay, on to the fifth question. I am wondering if it is possible that females are not able to orgasm during sexual intercourse. I've read articles that say all women should be able to achieve orgasm during sexual intercourse if they are in a relaxed state, but I've also read that some are just not capable of it and may need additional stimulation. Can you please tell me what the actual answer is?
Wow, I'd really like to see that article that says that women should be able to have a vaginal orgasm if they're relaxed. It sounds like something from the 80s. What was that band called? I forgot. They had that song. Anyway, this is not the case. Most women do not have vaginal orgasms and never have vaginal orgasms and have great sex lives. So take heart. There's this great thing that we're built with called a clitoris. And that is the key to the female orgasm for most people. If you're having trouble, there's a few things you should think about. The first thing is, can I have an orgasm with myself? If you can have an orgasm with yourself, you're halfway there. And then the key is instructing your partner in how to do that. There's some good information available on the web, and there's also a couple of books that I recommend. My favorite book is an old book, but I still think it's the best one out there. It's called For Yourself by Lonnie Barbach. She's a Bay Area physician who wrote a book about helping women have an orgasm, and it's still widely available. There's a follow-up book called For Each Other that couples can use, but it does take some time and commitment. But I think everybody deserves to have a great sex life, and I think it's worth the time to put in to figure out how you can have a good sex life. There's a website called The Female Orgasm Revealed, that's all one word, that I like to refer people to. And if you're looking for some basic female sexual response information, there's a great book that's been around for many years, and it's called Our Bodies, Ourselves. It's just got all kinds of useful information. So if you're a woman out there and you feel like you have a lot of questions, make yourself a present and go out and buy yourself this book. It's not very expensive, and it's a great resource. It's written in very simple language, and many women can understand it. So don't beat yourself up if you're not having vaginal orgasms. It's actually not very likely that you're going to be having vaginal orgasms. Some women do, and that's great, but it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you if you're not.
Okay, so our last question for the day is one about herpes. If I am in a relationship with someone who has oral herpes, how can I prevent from contracting it? If I think I am having my first outbreak, should I come to see a provider?
Okay, so oral herpes, which commonly people think of as cold sores, is super, super common. And if somebody gets herpes, we don't know, if somebody gets a cold sore on the outside of their lips, we don't know if they got the herpes virus when they were 2 and they kissed their Uncle Mo, or if they got it from their current partner. About 50% of people who carry the herpes virus never get a sore. So it's really, really difficult to say who the source is if you do get a herpes infection. Now, if you don't ever remember having a cold sore and your partner does, it's certainly a good idea to avoid contact with the sore itself. But you should know that A, you probably already have the virus, and B, your partner can shed the virus even when they don't have a sore. The other important thing to remember about herpes is we used to differentiate between type 1 and type 2, saying that type 1 was above the belt and type 2 was below the belt. But thank God, due to the proliferation of oral sex in this country, which is a good thing, lots of people now have type 2 on their lips, and lots of people have type 1 on their genitals. So yes, you can transmit sores on your lips to sores on your genitals. So, you want to be cautious. If anybody has a sore, you don't want skin-to-skin contact, because in that case, the virus is shed in much higher numbers. But it's important to know that you can get the virus even if your partner doesn't have a sore. So it is a risk you take being a sexually active person. Condoms can help prevent it, but of course, if the sore is on your lips, condoms aren't going to help you too much. So that's my answer about herpes. If you need more information about this or other STDs, or you need testing, like I said, come by and we can test you for free at Student Health. And we're happy to do that and discuss this with you or with your partner. The other thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention earlier is that we also do couples counseling here. Primary care providers like myself can talk to you and your partner, as well as mental health folks can talk to you and your partner together about these issues. So please don't hesitate, come by and see us, and keep emailing us your anonymous questions. We're really enjoying this program, and we hope you are too. Thanks so much. Bye.